Hello, War Dragons fans. This is Poseidon. Now, I normally draw either War Dragons, which is my funny little comic that I do, or sometimes funny, I should say, or I do my paintings. But we in the Creators faction found out that there is a new event coming, and it is called the Fight Pits. So I kind of wanted to give an explanation as to what this is, at least what we know so far. So I thought this would be a good way to do it. Alright, so here's the description of the event. It's a PvP event, obviously, because we've got the 25 guilds. And it basically, now like all the other events that have a backstory, this one does as well. This kind of has a neat backstory. I like the kind of, you've been captured and gladiatorial theme that's going on here. So I'm not going to read this all to you. You guys can read. You don't need me to read to you. So that is the description. If I move too quick, feel free to pause and read it yourself. Anyway, let's move on to the goal. So typical goal for a PvP event. You want to be the team to finish with the most victory points. And obviously the more points you have, the higher your rank. And like the other PvP events that we've had, it's also going to count towards league rankings, which I'm not sure how you guys feel about it. I personally like it. I think it adds a little bit of a extra sense of urgency, if you will, to the events, as far as making sure everyone participates, trying to formulate a strategy, and so on and so forth, especially towards the end, because it's not just, you know, your rankings within the event, but it also affects your league rankings. So I really like what they've done with that with the PvP events. Okay, what are the fight pits? Well, there are 4 levels to the pit. This is where everyone starts off, is the pit, and that will give you the lowest amount of points. And then as you place higher, you can be promoted to the jail, and then to the training grounds, and then finally to the Coliseum. So think about this. I'm not exactly sure how it's going to break down, but I imagine like the top 2 or 3 or 6 teams, I'm not sure how it's going to break down, but will be in the Coliseum, and they will be earning the most points. So the Coliseum is where you want to be, that has the highest amount of points. Alright, but everyone starts off in the pit and then just kind of works their way up. Now when the event launches, what you're going to see is this main event screen. And you can see where it shows you like Coliseum, training grounds, and I'm sure if you scroll down you'd be able to see the other different pits and who the current champion is. So like this placeholder, current champion is Dragon Lord, and you could view that pit. Tells you what the VP is, VP level is, team name, energy. You can see that this event is going to use inner fires. There's going to be rounds. So it's going to be kind of like a taking bits and pieces from some of the existing events, and hopefully the best bits and pieces. But anyway, once you get into one of the pits, you will see who the current champion is. That's what that symbol denotes. And then you'll have these, which tells you who is getting promoted or on their way to getting demoted. And you can obviously choose who to attack. So it says starting VP, plus there is a bonus for being champion. So that's something that is you would want to keep an eye on. And then there's this button down here, officer plan, which when you click that brings up something that I really like, and that is the team plan. Now here it looks like you might be able to kind of like write a short novel, if you will, but it's kind of like calling out your targets in, say, Tug of War, or marking your targets in King of the Hill, for example. What I like about this is oftentimes, especially with like King of the Hill, like you call out a target, target disappears once you take it, and then what happens if all your officers are asleep and your team may not know who to attack, so they just start kind of like unorganized attacks on different teams. What this allows you to do is, like this says, always attack the current champion. So that gives your team a goal. If you want to always hit a certain team, you can write that in there. You could have like step by step do this, and then if that's not available, do this. So I really like this team plan thing, and I'm hoping that maybe it's something that can be incorporated into other events. if not moving forward with any new events that they do come up with at some point in time, in the near or distant future, if you will, that they keep that, because I really like that. This, typical for any PvP event, has the player's name, the attack buttons. I'm assuming that when you attack, it'll get grayed out. I don't imagine that this would have a raid button, considering only one of the PvP events has that raid button. As much as I love it, I wish they all had it. But this is going to be pretty much standard fare. And as far as what we know so far, you're going to be able to use varied attacks, so you have regular and super attacks. I am not sure, we haven't found out anything about the Mega Coin, but do not be surprised if it shows up. I know that it's a very divisive topic for a lot of people. Some people love it, some people hate it, some people say that it's for the spenders. It does kind of, in some ways, it requires a little bit of strategy, in other ways it doesn't. So it is kind of like one of those, it's either you love it or you hate it. I don't think there's a whole lot of people in the middle on that. Again, you will be able to use inner fires, so there will be that to get you some extra points on your attacks. And again, there is no current specific release date, but we were told that it would be in 1 to 2 months. Okay, my thoughts on this, for those who want to hear it, I love the theme. Huge fan of the show Spartacus, if anyone remembers that was on Starz. Love the movie Gladiator, so this kind of like gladiatorial combat theme is something I'm really digging and looking forward to. I know it doesn't really like change the fact that it's PvP. It's not like it's a dragon versus dragon and turning into a fighting game kind of thing, but I like the theme, I like the story. It's something new, something fresh. Okay, always love that. And I think there's a potential for this to incorporate a little more strategy. I could be wrong. It may just come down to like who can Mega Coin and when, but I'm hopeful, optimistically hopeful, that there will be more strategy involved in this. Okay, and again, I love the team plan box. I like being able to like kind of write out a detailed plan. So you're not having to write these team mails that get lost and replied to, or just marking a target that may not be valid 6 hours from now. Who knows? But those are my thoughts on it. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. If you have any questions, something that I didn't answer here that I might be able to answer, feel free to comment. You can comment to me on Twitter. You can, at me on Twitter, or you can comment on this video. I'm more likely to find it on Twitter though. So I'll go ahead and show my info on the next page. You can find me at PQ Higgins. You'll also see my dragon paintings there and my Woe Dragons comics. But also, I'd really like if you guys wouldn't mind giving me a subscribe or follow, or just check on this website once in a while. It's wardragons.info/Poseidon. I put everything there first. Sometimes it's only by a few minutes, but a lot of times kind of like my work in progress, like usually with the paintings and stuff. I'm not going to throw up the like, oh, this is, I'm done with the eyes kind of thing over on Twitter, but I will post it on the blog there. So feel free to go and check that out, subscribe and comment there. And as always, I appreciate any feedback you guys give. Good, bad, indifferent. I'm thick-skinned. I can take it. And just keep enjoying the game, keep having fun, and yeah, blood and honor, baby. I'm looking forward to this gladiator thing. Take care.